Ciao amici, it's Natalia and welcome to my channel. On this channel I talk about my life in Italy and my small business journey. And today we will talk about one productivity experiment that I did in May and that helped me to grow my business and to reach my personal goals. In case you are curious, I live in Milan, Italy. It's my favorite city in this country. Just look how nice it is. I will show you this beautiful building. How nice! I live in Porta Romana area in Milan and I really like it because it's like historical center of the city, but it's quiet. In fact, this experiment was made to stop overthinking. But first, let's take a coffee.
Cappuccino.
Grazie. Grazie, ciao. Like, I really needed this coffee because this morning I did quite a tough workout. I did Pilates, reformer, and also some cardio. So I need to charge my batteries before we talk about this interesting experiment that I did in May. Okay, we have a little problem here because I wanted to shoot on that bench, but all the benches are occupied, so we need to search for the free one. Okay, looks like we found a quite nice and silent spot here to film this video. So how all these experiments, my productivity experiments, has started. The point is that in April I was quite tired of all the slow growth and in general slow progress in all areas of my life, and I wanted to speed up things a bit. Two things that I wanted to improve lately are my body. As always, we women like to always improve it, and also my business. Actually, my greatest goal, my biggest goal is to grow my business internationally, because before I was working with my APPAREL brand, in general with my brand only for Russian-speaking markets, and now I wanted to expand and to work with more countries. So I was doing something, of course. I never stopped doing some progress, some actions. I was working out quite a lot. I was doing things for my business, like the content and also some new designs and so on, but I didn't see much growth. I mean, it was like a slow, steady growth, but without some breakthroughs. And I realized that you can't have new results if you're still doing the same things. So I understood that I need to change something. So I wanted to make this experiment in May. In fact, it wasn't from some book or something. I just had my own ideas about what I can change to speed up the growth and in general to improve my results. And I tried to test this theory. Let's be honest, in theory we all know what we need to do to achieve success in different areas of our life, but for some reason it doesn't happen. And I wanted to understand what can stop us. And I realized that we all know which steps to take to arrive to some goal, but what stops us is overthinking. I mean, we attach too much emotions to the process, to the steps that we make, and that's what demotivates us. So when I started this experiment in May, my two main goals were to improve my body and to grow internationally, to grow my apparel brand internationally. So all my planned actions were around these two areas of my life. So for these two goals I made a written plan, because I always do written plans. I'm sure that if you have some idea only in your head, it will never happen. So I always put everything on paper, and I just like to write by hand. So that's how my plan for my body looked like. I planned 15 workouts during the month, and consider that I travel quite a lot, at least 1 week or even more out of month I wasn't in Milan, so I couldn't go to the gym, but still I planned 15 workouts, and it's quite a lot for a month, even if you're always in one city and you can go to the gym. Other thing that I decided to change, I decided to make less cardio and do more weightlifting. I also made a plan for my meals. I knew that I had to change nutrition, and I decided to cut carbs almost completely. Flour and grains, I cut them almost completely. I was eating more veggies and fruit. And I was also trying to add protein in every meal that I was eating, because I'm vegetarian, and for me it's quite easy to forget about taking enough protein, and I need to pay attention to this to get enough. And when I was thinking how to grow my brand internationally, of course I decided to do it through content, because that's how I grew my brand in the first place, even for the markets that I worked with before. So I knew that I need to have new pages, like in English, at least Instagram, and I also started this channel on YouTube. And in my plan I also wrote down the number of contents that I need to do for each platform. So I don't remember it exactly, but I will put it here on the screen. So now it's June, and I can analyze the results of this experiment, and I will tell you the results that I had just in 1 month, and then I will tell you how I achieved it, which steps I took for every goal. So the good thing is that in May I had this goal to grow internationally, and I finally started this channel, my YouTube channel in English, because before I had only YouTube channel in Russian. So it was my wish for a long time to start YouTube in English, and finally it happened in May. So in May I published, if I'm not wrong, 3 videos on this channel, and I had 36 followers. That is not much, I know, but anyway, I started it, and I had some views. I had around 90 hours of watch hours, because one of my goals is also to monetize this channel, and even if I didn't grow much, it was a nice start. I like how all these people just walk here, minding their own business, while I talk here about productivity. So it's already an achievement for me that I started this channel, because I didn't do it for at least a year after I decided to do it. So it's already a great achievement for me, and I'm sure it will grow in the future. But the most impressive growth I had on Instagram. I made an Instagram account for my apparel brand just in January, I guess. So I've worked with it just for several months. Oh my gosh, now they're there. What should I do? So let's continue. Since January it was growing steadily, but quite slow. I must admit that I use Target, so I pay for the advertising on Instagram. But of course, if you don't have nice content, when people see your advertising and they get to your page, they won't follow you. So I tried to work very well with the content in May. And the growth was really impressive because in May I grew 570 followers. It's the biggest growth in all these months for my page. And in the beginning of the month of May I had like 555 followers, and in the end of May, on the 31st of May, I had 1,125 followers. And that is really impressive because even though I use advertising, because I treat this page as a business, it's my business, still this growth shows that the content that I put there this month was really good and people liked it and wanted to follow me. And another impressive result of all my efforts in May and my experiment is the fact that I got my first order from Dubai. I already had international orders before, like it's not the first one. I have clients in many countries, but most of them were like Russian speaking, they're just living in different countries. And lately I started to get orders from foreign people. I mean, in Dubai it was a customer that lives there, it's not someone Russian speaking, so it was a true international order for me. And it was the first one from this country, and you know, the fact that in Dubai they have like everything, every brand you can imagine, like great collections and so on, and still the person chose to order from my brand, so it was really nice. What about the progress with my body? I made a plan of 15 workouts for May, and I did 14 of them, even though I was traveling a lot, so it was almost 100% of my plan. I think that nearly 80% of the time I managed to keep my nutrition right as I planned, like with no carbs and with a lot of protein, so it was really clean and lean nutrition that was right for my body. And the first time in the last 6 months, I guess, so 5 months, let's say from the beginning of this year, I finally started to notice results. And the biggest result was that it's not only me who was noticing results, because I know my body, of course, I see how it changes, but we went to Calabria lately, and because my husband's family lives there, and all his family and also his friends and so on, everyone noticed that I'm in great shape. Like, everyone told me about it, because you know, of course, you know your body well and you notice every change that happens, but when other people start to make you compliments and start to notice the changes, it means that something really happened. And for me it was the sign that this program, this written plan that I did for myself, worked. And my approach worked. So I will tell you about my approach. What was this experiment about? Because I had some principles that I followed, and I think that these principles can give you results in any area of your life. Also about my body changes, I didn't check my weight, because I think that if you don't have a lot of, if you are not very overweight, weight is not important. The shape of the body and the composition is important. So for example, when you gain muscles, you can lose fat but still have the same weight, but look completely different. And I think that that is what happened to me, because I see that my muscles became much more how to say visible, and also the clothes fit better. I mean, also the pants seem to be larger, even though I guess that my weight didn't change much. So I guess that I just gained the muscles, maybe lost some fat, and in general my body started to look better. So here are 4 principles that I followed during this experiment, this productivity experiment in May. And first of them is make a plan. Make a couple of goals, the most important for you, and make a written plan for it. Because if you don't put it on paper, or I don't know, on the app or somewhere, you will be just distracted. You just won't be focused enough to follow each step that you need to do. Because I did like this. I had this couple of goals, and I made a list of actions, exact actions that I need to do to achieve them. Then put the number of actions. If you need to work out, put the number of workouts that you want to do during the month, for example. Put the number of content that you want to put. For example, I made a number of posts, I don't know, or reels, or stories, or YouTube videos, the exact number of content that I wanted to make during this period of time. After you put these numbers, focus only on the number of actions. Don't pay too much attention to the quality, because quality is important, but believe me, even if you do something like 80% of quality, still, if it will be a high enough number of actions, you will get some results. Also, when you focus too much on the quality, it gets you to overthinking in general, and that is what we want to avoid here. Third important thing: don't analyze and don't attach emotions to your actions. You just need to do actions. It's just the things that you know that you need to do. It's like, like when you're going to the office, I don't know, to work every morning, you don't analyze why you need to do it. You just know that it's a thing to do, and you put your clothes on and you go there. The same with your goals and your actions. After you make a plan, after you put a number of actions that you need to do during the month, for example, don't overanalyze which results do you see after you do these actions, because otherwise, if you don't see the immediate results, it will really demotivate you. I know maybe it's a bit of contradiction for the culture nowadays, because they always tell that you need to be aware, you need to analyze why and when you do something, but I don't think so. I think when you have some goals, you always know which actions you need to take, always. Believe me, if I ask you, for example, if you want to lose weight and I ask you which actions you need to take, for sure you know what you need to do. So after you set the goals and you put your written plan with number of actions, with the actions that you need to take, just do these actions. Don't analyze at all the results. Just, you have just to tick every action done during the month that will give you satisfaction, because this is under your control. Because the result is not always under our control, but the actions that we do are under our control. And the fourth important point is that you shouldn't check the results for a long time. At least a month. It depends on the goal, because of course there are some goals that you just can't achieve in 1 month, but even the smallest progress, it's a mess. Even the smallest progress, don't analyze it, don't focus on your progress. Focus only on the number of actions, of the exact actions that you do during this period of time, and analyze your progress only after at least a month, or better, I think even 6 months. So what about my own feelings and my own results? What state of mind I had after this experiment? There's a car that makes too much noise. So what's about my own results and my feelings about them? I must be honest that I really managed to speed up some things during this experiment in May. So there are some things that I'm really happy about, but there were also some things that didn't grow so well. For example, to be honest, I expected bigger growth in sales, because when I saw such a big growth in audience, I thought that it will be logical to grow also in sales. The sales were fine. I mean, for my medium amount for every month, it was fine, but I didn't see much growth, even if my geography became larger. So as I told you, I got some orders from foreign customers. To be honest, this thing made me a bit sad. But then I remembered that I decided to not overthink the process. I decided to focus only on the numbers of actions, and I want to fool myself and to analyze all the results of this approach only in the end of the year. Because I understood that even if I had a growth in audience, for my brand, for my business, I know that the people that start to follow you, they almost never become your customers immediately. For example, my Russian-speaking customers, they started to buy from me after like more than a year that they followed me. They had interactions with me, they watched my content, they watched my personality, and so on. So I'm sure that the same principle is valid for my foreign customers, I mean for my foreign audience, that the people that start to follow me now will become my customers later if I will do a good job. So I think I can consider if it was a success or not only in the end of the year. So because there will be like several months after that they started to follow me, and maybe they will decide to make a purchase. So I just wanted to share these thoughts with you, this productivity approach, because it worked really well for me in May, and I will continue for sure with the same approach. I already made a plan for June. If you want, I will share it with you. Maybe we can make like month planning videos. If you like, let me know. So I hope it was useful. I hope that it will help you to achieve your goals faster and to have a good steady growth in all areas of your life. So if you like this video, put me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel to not miss the future videos. Thank you for watching this video. Ciao!